We're live. We're live. We're live. Move it. Do whatever you need to do. Whatever millimeter you need to move it. We're glad to have you today. What today's topic is on Let's Talk About It is money talks and how to make financial conversations less stressful. We're going to talk about I am Dr. LisaSantiagoMcNeilll, and this is my fantastic, fantabulous husband.
Brian K. McNeill. And these conversations need to be had.
They need to
So
be had.
often we don't want to talk about it. Like, for example, you remember the time your mom tried to talk to you about her death insurance, about what's going to happen when she dies? Children go, Mom, I don't want to hear that talk. Or, what are we investing in, or why are we investing in, or how's our investment? Oh, I don't want to talk about that right now. I just got home. These difficult, or who do we need to pay, or do we want to play the game? See, we got all our bills here. Here's what we'll do, honey. We'll send the check for the rent to the power company. We'll send the check for the power company to the rental office. We'll send the check to that.
Nobody sends checks
I know,
anywhere
but the
anymore.
game used to be you make them dizzy. You send them all the checks.
Good morning, Uzama. You forgot to put the stamps on. You forgot to sign the check.
Yes, all these things to make them dizzy.
I was like 20 years
or more.
Now.
Or maybe don't do it the same way.
Well, we're going to talk about how to make those are not financial conversations, but those are financial actions. Oftentimes, we make things more difficult either by avoiding them or by trickery or by minimization. What's this you spent $250 on?
Another dress? Okay. All right. So difficult financial conversations, how to have those difficult financial conversations. And of course, on the first Tuesday of every month, we have our special guest. Our friend and financial mentor, Mr. J. Maddie, is going to drop a word on us at 9:15.
And we'll be right back after these messages.
Good morning, my name is Brian McNeill.
And I am LisaSantiagoMcNeilll.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Like. Good morning, and welcome back. Welcome back. So, who knows where that's from?
Welcome back, Carter. 1976, 77, 75, somewhere in that range.
It's Carter. But yes, that's it. That is what it is. But I wasn't asking you. I knew you would know. I was asking them.
You knew I would know.
I knew you would know. Because you're old.
Today's April 1st.
Today is April 1st. This is the first Tuesday of the month the month of April, and as you see, scrolling along the bottom of the screen, Men and When is tonight.
Male Empowerment Networks and Women Empowerment Networks.
What is Men?
Male Empowerment Networks and Women Empowerment Networks. Our Male Empowerment Networks is a discussion group for men. We hold it twice a month since August of 2013 because men need men. They need a place to talk about it. So on the first and the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host a virtual meeting. You can do it from the comfort of your home.
And tonight is Women Empowerment Networks. Women Empowerment Networks is an important marketplace with allowance for the spirit. We celebrate women in business. We celebrate women in life. We celebrate you and what you do to get to the next level. Join us tonight at the Empowerment Center.online at 7 p.m. And I am excited to see you tonight and to hear all about what's going on in your life, as well as what does say the Lord about what we all go through.
Hey, did you ever lose a prized possession? Like a favorite necklace, or a favorite ring, or a favorite bracelet, or a favorite watch, and you misplace it because you know it has to be around. And when days go by, like I've misplaced my whalebone. Some of you guys know it goes right here. I've been wearing it for 22 years. If my home caught on fire, this would be one of the things I'd want to go into the house to get because it matters to me. I got it right before my youngest son was born. It was given to me as a gift from a gentleman who carved it himself. He dived for it himself off the coast of Hawaii, got the whalebone and carved it into this oval-shaped fish hook. And I've been wearing it, so I've misplaced it now for about 4 or 5 days. And I keep looking around every room I'm in, because just in case a corner of the necklace will be peeking out from under something, or the whalebone itself will be in an obvious place that I've overlooked. I remember one time losing my cell phone, searching high and low fervently, and it was on my desk underneath the notebook. I could have easily just dropped the notebook on top of it. It can happen to anybody. For some reason, I didn't move that notebook, but I searched everywhere else. So I'm hopeful that I'll look around this room or my office.
Not likely in my room.
Not likely in here. No, it's not likely anywhere, but it could be anywhere. So I've been feeling some loss. And when I find it, prayerfully, when I find it, I'm going to celebrate and embrace it.
Hey, Shirley, good morning, good morning.
Because even this shirt don't look right without my whalebone. And this is a new shirt. Anyway.
So how do you make financial conversations less stressful? We were talking on last Friday in the group, Learn to Fight Fair, how important it is not just...
We were part of a couples meeting last Friday night, and the title of the couples meeting was Learn to Fight Fair. And it was for married people or significantly involved people. Learning how you fight. It was just a really good conversation. So go ahead.
It's not just what you say, but how you posture yourself when you're saying it is so important. And one of the things is laying out or having assumed ground rules. Talking about conflict being sort of akin to fighting, right? Akin to even using the analogy boxing. You can't get into a boxing ring anymore and just hit wherever you feel like hitting.
There's rules.
There's rules.
You can't punch in the back of the head. You can't use the side of your head like a karate.
You're really not supposed to bite them.
Below the belt.
You can't hit below the belt.
Right, that's rules.
Absolutely. And some of those things are we just either assume them or we intentionally regard them. In our marriage, we regard fighting fair and fighting fair is important, right? Because there are certain things, you know your mate. You know your mate and you know how to push buttons. And sometimes people fight or disagree almost as if they're going to be enemies. Our goal is not to beat the other person up. The goal is to find a place where we can understand and move towards a common goal.
Because you want to keep each other, you want to keep the marriage. So what's this going to be like if I say that ugly thing?
If you say that ugly thing, or if you do that ugly thing, that some things just can't be taken back.
Yeah.
You can't take it back. You can't unring it.
It's out of the tube. And you can't put it back in. Have you ever tried to put toothpaste back in the tube? I got too much.
That baby, you're not even the baby's father.
Whoa. What?
Wait a minute. Even if that's not true, even if I fed you up and you was tired of disagreeing with me, you cannot unring that bell without some DNA. Without some DNA, you are not going to be able to unring that bell.
There was this funny skit, Tremo. You know Tremo with
Yes.
the dog?
Mm-hmm.
And they was doing this banter thing. And he's like, you and your big head, ha, ha, ha. Big head, that's innocuous. And she came back with something, and then he came out with one more. That's why your daddy's really your uncle, and your uncle's your daddy. You don't know what you got. You got a dunkle.
You got a dunkle.
And he started crying.
You just took it too far.
You took it too far.
You knew it was already a conversation that was swirling in the family, that was already in the background somewhere. And it might have been a lie, it might have been a truth. But what it wasn't was fodder for this conversation.
No. But I'm impressed with. I don't know if impressed is the right word. But when we have financial conversations with us, we normally do it soberly. When I say sober, I'm not talking about lack of alcohol. I'm talking about where we're settled. Okay, soberly, settled, no other distractions because we got to knock this out. I have a preference because some of these conversations can't be done casually or flippantly or as you're doing other things. You know, I'm on my way out the door. Hey, what about this thing right here or this bill or that bill or whatever? Not the time. But when we're still, we do make it, oh man, reverential is not the right word either. but we clear time to have financial conversations.
Yeah, but I mean, those I don't even think those are conversations.
Okay.
Those when dealing with money matters, we deal with them soberly. Now, there are some money matters that I feel like we didn't have a meeting of the mind on, and I had to figure. I chose to figure out a creative way to address the thing so that it wouldn't impact our agreement, because we didn't really disagree. We just had different levels of importance put on something.
So this has never happened, but this is a hypothetical
Okay.
example of what could happen. Brian, I need to take $500 out of the account just for myself, but I don't want to tell you what it's for. Okay. Whoa. What do you mean? We got to have a talk about this. $500, that's not $50. We got to have a talk about this. That's a money conversation. It could have been difficult.
Yeah.
It could have been difficult. She's
And
never done that.
Yeah, we don't really have that kind of look. I make my own money, and so does he. But however, once the money is
That's
made,
not how it goes.
It's
you
our
make your
money.
own money, and so do I. And it's our money. You get it all, baby. Stop playing.
I get it all, but I don't use it all.
Okay.
I hold it all, but I don't govern it all.
No, you don't govern it. That's done with me.
That's a us thing. But I hold it. I do hold it because I like to hold money. We're 4 minutes away from our money.
4 minutes away from our special guest.
So can't wait.
And the level of conversation is going to go higher when Jay McNeill
Hey,
gets to the room.
Sheila. Good morning, Sheila. Need to turn it on. For those of you who have been here before, you know that Jay is going to give us some amazing tips. Please share the podcast on your page, as well as invite those in and hit those like buttons so that we can continue to build and grow. We've seen some changes in the algorithms because some things have changed. And because of that, many of you may not be seeing us show up on your page. But if you could help us to get some viewership just by hitting that like button and hitting that share button. It's very, very helpful.
Today's also April the 1st.
April the 1st.
This is the first day of the second quarter. The second quarter.
Can you believe it?
The first quarter has already come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
January, February, March is the first quarter of the year. And if you map your year out by quarters, how was your quarter? How was your first quarter? How's your second quarter going to be? Thank you, Sister Shirley, for sharing. How's your second quarter? And that's significant to me when I think of it as quarters. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, the first quarter is already come and gone. Okay, am I on target for my yearly targets? Am I on target for where I want to be with my business? Did I accomplish anything in the first quarter of the year that I'm happy about or proud about or can celebrate? Did you accomplish anything that you could celebrate for the first quarter of the year? Some people still call this.
Good morning, William Brown. Shirley said, April, here we come. April is here.
April is here. Also, April 1st is traditionally was called April Fool's Day. Now, I looked up right before we started today the origin of April Fool's Day. It talks a lot about, in the Wikipedia, it talks a lot about the purpose of it. It's when we perform harmless pranks on friends and family. Harmless pranks on friends and family.
All right, Sheila. She says first quarter was amazing.
Thank you for telling us that, Sister Sheila. Because we as friends should celebrate with each other. As friends, we're supposed to. She had an amazing quarter. We should share in her celebration of her amazing quarter. And if she said it was horrible, we're supposed to help her endure her hardship.
Absolutely.
As friends. If we say we're friends, we want to celebrate that with you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
But harmless pranks, and then Lisa asked me, okay, that's fine, but when did it start? And then it said nonsense like the Middle Ages. What's that? So then I had to keep researching. 1508 was the first recorded incidents of April Fool's Day. 1508.
Who did it and what did they do?
It was in Europe, of course. And I didn't go any further than that because I was frustrated that it wasn't giving me the answers I wanted right away.
But still, 1508, so whoever did whatever they did had to be a person of notable standard for it to resonate throughout the land.
You would think so. It could have been something casual. It's April Fool's Day. Yeah, it's opposite day.
Yeah, it's opposite day. That went for a while with crisscross, backwards day. That went for a couple of decades. I remember sending Jade to school on backwards day, and she's almost 20
The
now.
child that Lisa was raising named
Absolutely.
Jade.
But I remember growing up with backwards day as well. So that at least landed.
Opposite day. I didn't get that until South Park cartoon with Cartman. Today's opposite day. That's where I got it from.
Shirley said, I accomplished making my rank all 2024. I could not make it.
And you
well,
did it
I'm
in the
glad
first
you
quarter.
made it.
She ranked
Yes.
with the company that she represents, a network marketing organization, and they have a ranking system. She was able to rank in the first quarter. That's amazing.
Woo-hoo.
We had a friend who's gone to glory named Brenda Booker Bull, and she often talked about, well, she's told me sometimes before, like first quarter just ended, and I've already qualified for the year in real estate. That means that she's already brought enough revenue in at a low enough percentage that for the rest of the year, she's going to be at the top of her percentage for that. She's already accomplished what she needed to accomplish. And she was celebrating that with us, and it was exciting news for me to hear.
Congratulations to Shirley from William, amen, and to Sheila,
It's
amen.
9:15. One of the things I accomplished in the first quarter is I completed writing my book. Financial services are different. Selling financial services are different, and it's at my publisher right now. I do want to remind me after Jay talks today to talk about in-person networking that we're going to be doing this upcoming Thursday.
Yeah.
So coming to the stage, sometimes you meet someone out in an event and that person becomes a lifelong friend. And then sometimes you discover that lifelong friend knows some things you don't know. And sometimes that friend is loving enough to share some things. For months now, Jay Mattier has been coming in here on the first Tuesday of every month to share his knowledge with us. So coming to the stage, Mr. Jay Mattier.
Good morning, good morning,
How are
good
you, sir?
morning, Brian. Good morning, Dr. Lisa. Good morning, Empowerment Dual family. Good morning to everybody and happy April 1st. And, you guys talked about some interesting things. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jay Mattier. I'm a retired business and financial consultant coach. I've been living in Charlotte for about 18, 19 years. And I do a number of things. I'm still, even though retired, still involved in investing, still involved in real estate, still involved in coaching people, but not as significantly as in my past life. But we talked about some interesting things, on the first Tuesday of each month, we have some sort of financial talk. But it was interesting that there was a couple of things that came up with Lisa and Brian's conversation this morning that I just want to hit. It's funny you talk about the tricks and everything. Brian, how about sending the check and not signing it?
Yeah.
when I was younger, we used to get mail, and I knew everybody that lived in a house, but there was always this mail that came for this guy named Christopher Brown. And I never knew who Christopher Brown was until I got older and started realizing things that Christopher Brown was who our lights name was in. So back in the day, we used to do a lot of different things to survive. And,
that's right.
So
y'all put y'all lights in somebody else's name.
Well, he was a fictitious character.
Right. Part of the games, man.
Christopher Brown. I always remember that. My whole life, I always remember Christopher Brown. Christopher Brown don't live here. Who is Christopher Brown?
Imagine
but
that.
When you get to the point where you can't put your name on nothing no more, you got to be creative. The other thing that you guys talked about is conversations. You got to talk about finances. You've got to talk about money to amongst yourselves, amongst your family, your children, that scenario that you use about that final talk of what happens after. You got to have those serious conversations. And really, the better you have them, the weight will be lifted off of you in the better shape that you'll be into. One of my ministries was bereavement, and I can't tell you how many families I went and counseled, and the wife didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what they had. They didn't know where anything was,
Right.
and it's devastating, So have those conversations. And I like the thing about first quarter. It's funny because we're going to have a meeting, and my wife and I, we break up the year. This will be the first quarter. In 6 months, we'll have a semi-annual meeting, then the third quarter, and then the annual meeting. So get used to treating yourself like a business. Treat your household like
Come on, Jay.
Be able to have those meetings, have those conversations, just like your company. You can't run your company by yourself. There's got to be a CEO. There's got to be a CFO.
Yes.
So keep those things in mind. You got to have those conversations. You've got to bounce ideas, and you got to keep track of your finances.
Mm-hmm.
The problem we have when the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, that's the collapse. That's the collapse right there. So I just want to get to my topic today.
Absolutely.
You've already dropped some nuggets. One thing that you said already that's inspiring me is the more you have these conversations, the easier they'll get.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
So please go ahead.
Today I want to talk about the power of compounding interest. The power of compounding interest. It was told that it was the eighth wonder of the world.
Benjamin Franklin.
Be able to have compounded interest. And a lot of you probably have some savings, probably have some investing, probably have some real estate. So you're kind of somewhat familiar with compounding interest. But what it does, it multiplies your savings and or debt at an accelerated rate. So now on the good side of the fence, if you have investments that are actually getting compounded interest, it's good. But on the other side of the fence, you know that the banks and the credit card companies use the same method to make money. The only thing is that on our side of the equation, they're only giving us between 4 to 10%, but on their side of the equation, they're getting upwards to 20 to 30%.
Where are you getting 4% of the bank?
Well, some of the new online banks, yeah.
Okay, yes, those.
What is it? 0.001.
Right, less than 1%.
Yeah.
What amazes me is marketing and advertising. I remember when interest rates used to be in the double digits, and they now, when interest rates are 0.0001, they're trying to make you feel like that's good.
Yes.
And this is great. What do you mean? I'm not making any money.
Right.
This is great. The advertising and the marketing, no matter how bad the situation is, they're still going to try to paint it a rosy picture. Mm-hmm. So you got to really pay attention to marketing and advertising. It really has an effect on your mindset, your well-being, and your financial being. Don't be fooled.
Come on, Jay.
So
that was major what he just said. That was major.
Compounding interest is calculated on both your principal and your interest. So you imagine if you were just getting straight interest, say you have $10,000, you got 5%, then you'd have the end of the year, you'd have $10,500. But imagine that if you kept on putting in money, which is the dollar cost averaging, and we're getting interest on top of the money that you put in, plus on top of the money that was already in there with interest. So that is what is known as compounding interest. So that way you're generating income. Your money is working for you. And a lot of times people talk about, have your money work for you. So this is one of the powerful ways that your money works for you. And it's interest on interest, which is known as compounding interest.
What
Interest,
vehicles do you leverage in order to obtain compounded interest?
right. You can, that is very important. Even in home buying cases, you put down 10, 5, 3%, you get the equity, plus you get interest accumulated on that. But again, the bank has already made their money. They do the same thing. They use the same calculation. And the bad thing about it, they get theirs up front. So the first 10 years of you paying your mortgage, they're getting paid. That's all interest.
Yep.
So it can work in your favor or it can work against you. And you have to understand how to manage your money and how to make it work for you more so than against you. It's a variety of frequencies. The interest can be daily, can be monthly, can be annually, quarterly. So there's different frequencies of how interest is done. And the higher the number of the compounding and the more time that you have, the greater the return. So the two things that you have that accumulate the compounding interest is, number one, you have to have a decent interest rate. And number two, you have to have time. And I always encourage people, if you're going to be investing or you're going to do anything, start it as soon as you can. Don't wait. Don't wait, because your 50-year-old self is not thinking about your 60-year-old self. Your 20-year-old self is not thinking about your 30-year-old self. You've got to start thinking about your future. Just as we talked about treating your life as a business, you've got to make future plans and future projections for your life. As part of that, your financial security and stability for the future will come with that.
So what does someone do who has more life behind them than in front of them, but they're just trying to start?
Well, the key thing is to start.
Mm-hmm.
Depending upon how much time, because we've all got less time to go than we already come. So the key thing is just to start. Do something. Set up a budget, a spending plan. Determine the amount of money that you're going to put away, and kind of determine the futuristic amount. Whether it's you're saving for an emergency fund, whether you're saving for a new appliance, whether you're saving for a car, whether you're saving for a down payment on a home. Have an end goal in mind and understand what your why is, why you're doing this. What is it all about? What does this mean? If I have this money, I've got some security here. If I have this money, I can go on and buy that car that I want. If I have this money, my kids can go to college. So those are the types of things. So now what you want to do is you just want to be comfortable with some sort of saving and investing. If you got at least 10 years, you should do it. And you should start today. You should start
10 years
with a couple of things you want to do is you want to start with an emergency fund. You want to look at what your expenses are. Start with 3 to 6 months worth of that money. Put it aside in a money market account that's gaining some interest, but you're not really worried about making money with this account. This is an insurance policy. When you do that, then next you want to look at savings and investing. Okay. So when you're looking at investing, you want to look at something that, especially when you've got a shorter period of time, you want to look at something that's somewhat safe. So somewhat conservative. You want to look at index funds. You want to look at money market accounts. Or you want to look at EFTs. And what we'll do on our next series, we'll talk about those individual types of accounts.
Thank you very much.
We'll do that. So right now, if you're in your golden years, it's more of just having some sort of nest egg, having something, have a parachute, have something that could supplement, just having some security. So those are the things that I would recommend when you're looking at something like that. I mean, you're beyond the, you want to have 10, 20, 30 years, but if you're in the sunset of life, you only got 5 or 10 years. Don't beat yourself up. Just do something. Start today. Have something. Establish some sort of accounts, and at least you'll feel better about it.
Thank you, sir.
If you have at least 10 years, then that will give you some sort of.
Now,
we only got a few more minutes left with you, but I got a burning question.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, can we leverage the wisdom that we have now for our grandchildren? We might not even be able to convince the children, right? Because they're already in the stage, they know everything, don't need any of our help. But can we leverage some of this information to benefit our grandchildren, sort of give them a head start in something?
Definitely. I mean, there are programs out for college programs, or you can just start savings accounts. You can buy savings bonds in the name of the children. But that is true. The Bible looks at what we're supposed to do is leave a legacy for our children and our children's children. So I'm really stuck on that when I plan the things myself to make sure that there's going to be something. It might not be, the multi-million dollars, but you got, you try to do what is right and give them a leg up, especially in a lot of our situations. We didn't get that.
That's right. So here's my question too, before we get out of here with you.
Okay.
What do we say? Because a lot of people on this feed have adult children. My adult children range in age from 22 to 35. Okay.
Right.
So my question is, what do we say to our adult children now? We understand the power of compounding interest. What would you recommend that we say to our adult children about their money going forward? They earn good money and they blow on it or whatever. What do you recommend we say to them?
I recommend that you have them, you start the conversation, but I recommend that you have them talk to a coach or financial advisor or planner, because what happens, your kid's not going to listen to you.
That part.
It's what's called the what do they call it? The baby powder syndrome. You powdered them. You don't know nothing. So it always takes somebody else to tell them. That's a good tip. Even if you give them the idea, it's somebody else. You ever have a child, you talk to somebody and you talk to them about a particular idea, they blow you off, but then somebody else tells them and they come back to you and say, you know what, such and such said, wait a minute, didn't I just tell you that last week?
Yeah.
I wish you hadn't used that example, Jay, because Lisa feels that way sometimes. I told you that already. But now since Jay said it,
now it's law.
We got another minute you left, Jay, so I'm going to give you this whole minute. But this time I want you to just speak to the loving audience. So just say something to them from your heart. Pour into the audience, please.
Okay. 2 things I would definitely use when it comes to children and your young adult children. I would definitely use my story about the 20-year-old thinking about the 30-year-old. And I would go up the ladder. And you want to have some time now, you want to have fun now. But if you're fortunate enough, you're going to have a future. So you need to start thinking about that. The other thing is that right now is a very tumultuous time in our economy, in our White House and everything. But don't be afraid.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of money made in this time. There's going to be a lot of money lost. Be on the winning side. Don't be a loser. Be on the winning side. Don't be afraid. Don't sell off. Wait it out. It'll pass.
Amen. Thank you,
This
Jay.
too shall
You
pass.
have been amazing. As I'm sitting here right now, just impressed with how many golden nuggets that we can grasp onto that you dropped for us. Thank you. We got to put you down into the green room right now.
All righty.
Wow. Did Jay bring it? Did Jay bring it? He brought up stuff, man. I mean, just the way he talks to me, every time I feel smarter when I talk to Jay. I feel smarter. Like I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express. I feel smarter already.
Good morning, Shirley. Oh, Shirley says, thank you, Jay. Craig says, good morning, everyone. Have a great, blessed day on purpose and enjoy it to the fullest. Antonobi says, good morning, family.
Good morning, Antonobi.
And good
Did
morning,
I see
Jay from
Pastor Veronica Daughtry slide through? Good morning, too.
She might have slid through the cracks for her skin herself, working it out. She is working. I'm so proud of you, my sister. She is working.
She's lost significant weight the last year or so. And I saw her make a post and said, I don't want anybody to think I'm sick because of all this weight loss.
So she want to make sure she gets that protein in,
Right.
because when you just lose the weight and don't fill it with protein, you get that raisin in the sun looking all shriveled up. Oh, we want to see beauty when you slim down. So thank you for the hard work that you are putting in, and we're so proud of you.
It's significant to me that today's the first quarter.
Yes,
I want
it
you
is.
guys to take some
The
gravity.
second quarter.
I mean, the first day of the second quarter.
Good morning, Dr. Benny.
Second quarter starts right now. These next 3 months are going to be largely what you make them.
Absolutely.
What you make them. Jay said, no matter how tumultuous it is in our country's economy and White House and chaos and all that kind of stuff, that's okay.
It's okay.
You still can take control of your life.
And this too will pass.
And this too will pass. Take control of your life over these next 3 months. Set a target. What are these 3 months going to mean for you? What are they going to mean for you? And you get to decide, no matter what's going on out there. And one of my mentors, Zig Ziglar, said, the economy is never, it's only good or bad out there. Okay? It's not good or bad within here. Okay? There's a different economy within. He says some people choose not to take part in that crazy economy, and they do their own economy within their own head. Okay? It's different. It's a way to cope through it. Antonobi, it's refreshing to see your name on our screen again. I missed you, my sister. I know you've been busy. I know life has been lifing. Life has been lifing for all of us. But it's nice to see you come through here.
Good morning. Thank you for dropping me a text a couple of days ago. Sister Andrea Butterfly Williams, she sent me a lovely hello.
That's nice.
I just want to say
Andrea Chocolate Butterfly Williams. How about that? Nice, friendly drop. So before the pandemic, Lisa and I were out the house.
We were outside
every day. We had an office uptown that we went to every day, Monday through Friday. Yep. We hosted meetings regularly, networking meetings. We had a couple of them.
At least twice a week.
Yeah, we had a couple of them going all the time.
Networks, Male Empowerment Networks.
But we had the Friday networking.
Yes, we had Friday networking. We had a Toastmasters.
We had
stuff going on outside the house.
Now,
and then outside closed.
And we had to pivot. We had to change how we work. We had to change how we live.
And going online, we made some additional expansions, which were wonderful. But when it was time to go back outside, we're like, why go back outside? We got people across the country. We can't go back outside.
I said, I'm not getting on nobody's plane.
That's right.
Why would I get on a plane? I could do it virtually from my house.
However, there is some benefit to being assembled in the same physical space.
I am excited.
And so we're excited to go back offline in the Concord area with
Concord, North Carolina. It's called Business Club. Lisa and I, months ago, we were contacted by the founders of this group, Business Club. They were old friends of Lisa's and mine too, to be the leaders of the Concord networking. It's going to happen on Thursdays.
From 1 to 3.
From 1 to 3. The first one is this upcoming Thursday, April the 3rd at 1 p.m. It's going to be a think tank and networking. And they've given it to Lisa and I to make it. And we're very, very experienced in how to run networking groups. We're very, very experienced in how to make the meeting dynamic. So I've already got my ideas about what we gonna do, all that kind of stuff. We've run Toastmasters groups. We've run all kinds of stuff before. So we know the formality of it, but we're gonna also keep it fun. So if you're in the Concord, North Carolina area or can get there, Concord, Huntersville, North Charlotte, university areas, and you want some more of that in-person, that potential rubbing of shoulders.
I was getting ready going to the pool. For some reason, I didn't like the way that felt. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. Get off of me.
I just basically rubbed my shoulder.
I know.
I put my hands on you.
It was strange. It was just.
I ain't grabbed nothing. I did this.
I'm appreciative of it, and I'm glad that I caught myself. But I'm just telling you that's what my first response was like. What do you? Wait. I'm sorry. Who's Tom? We all back now.
So anyway, so we're gonna do the in-person networking on this upcoming Thursday, and I'm very, very excited about it. We do have a link, so we'll be sharing the link with you now, and it's free to attend. It's free to attend. All you gotta do is just register. I think you registered for this.
I don't think you have to register, but we would appreciate it just so that we'll know what's going on. If you are local to the Charlotte or regional Concord area, we will look forward to seeing you in the place. Shirley is laughing. I'm sorry, Shirley. Shirley said that sounds interesting. It will be every week on Thursday. Anthony said, we miss you so much. Yes, life is life and busy is going. Yes. Amen.
And we understand that too. We understand that very much.
I've got 1 minute before before we get ready to sing. So, On This Day in History by Michael A. Carson, 366 Days of African American History. On this day in history, April 1st in 1868, HBCU, Hampton University, was founded in Hampton, Virginia by General Samuel Armstrong.
Wow.
He was appointed in 1866 to superintendent of the Freedmen's Bureau of the 9th District of Virginia. Drawing upon his experiences and missions in schools in Hawaii, he acquired funding from the American Missionary Association to establish a school, Hampton Normal and Agricultural Institute. The Emancipation Oak tree is a lasting symbol of the university's heritage and perseverance. The young oak served as the first classroom for newly freed men and women eager for an education. Mrs. Mary Peake conducted the first lessons taught under the oak located on the university's campus. In 1868. That was 100 years before I was born.
Wow, that was really interesting.
And that was compound interest at work. We got to grow. We got to obtain education. I got to become Dr. LisaSantiagoMcNeilll because someone first leveraged to set up a class under an oak tree.
Isn't that interesting? So many great humble beginnings. They were teaching under an oak tree, founded a university there. Wow, what a great story.
Absolutely.
So it's now 9:43. It's time for us to say thank you. The way we say thank you on this podcast is to our consistent contributors. A contributor is someone who puts stuff in the comment section that we can read. And the ones that do that consistently, we like to say thank you with a greeting song or a greeting logo.
Absolutely.
For example, today up first is
Uzama
Ra, who's pretty good at being first, by the way. He's figured out a system where he's first typically. But his greeting song goes like this.
Bitcoin King, he's the Bitcoin King. Uzama. Bitcoin King, he's the Bitcoin King. Uzama.
Bitcoin King Uzama, because he always pops up and says, good morning. Miss Phyllis George knows us longer than anybody else. She's our logo. Miss Phyllis is here.
Miss Phyllis is here.
So clear the way.
Miss Phyllis
is here. Now we can all have a great day. Good morning, Miss Phyllis.
Good morning.
Our dear friend Shirley DeJohnette Wyatt's got a jam. It goes.
Shirley DeJohnette
Wyatt will rock you, rock you. Shirley DeJohnette Wyatt will rock you, rock you. Good morning, Shirley Dejanette White. We're always happy to see you come through. Our friend William Brown is in the room too, and he's got a song too as well. Good morning to our friend Will. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Will. Good morning to our friend Will. Miss Sheila Goffin, who had an amazing first quarter. Woo, woo, woo. She's got a song too, and it goes,
Sheila, Sheila, storms are brewing in her eyes.
oh, good morning, Sister Sheila Goffin. Good morning to you. Craig Sabb's got a jam too, and it goes like this.
Craig Sabb.
1,000 degrees, you'll be on your knees, and you'll be burning, begging, please. Brother Freeze, Craig, let me borrow your VCR so I can do the tape. Sister Antonovi's got a song too, or a logo. This is one that we all can participate in. Put on your Nigerian voice. Sit up straight into your chair. Take a lot of air into your body and say, thank you, Antonovi. That's her greeting logo. Isn't that fun to do?
That is, and Jay
Maddie's got a jam too. Jay's got a jam too, and it goes, get ready, get ready. Oh, get ready, because your day comes. Get ready, because your day comes. Get ready, because your day comes. We should have sang that before he came on today.
Well, we appreciate it. I'm telling you, I'm always excited at what God is doing with us. One of the things that I am finding interesting is that the seasons have changed, right? So now we're having more warm days, but it's not completely consistent yet.
Nope.
So you get to understand that there are still going to be some ups and downs, even in the middle of what's supposed to be a level season. Spring is a really difficult season because it can be cold as balls or it can be hot and steamy. But absolutely being patient and remembering that no matter what happens out there, God is in here and he is in complete control and none of this catches him by surprise. Not the weather,
God by surprise.
Not the income, not the bank account, not the losses you might have suffered.
Not the economy,
none of the things caught him by surprise.
Shirley, I want you also to have a blessed day.
Absolutely.
Sister Shirley, I pray for you today, Sister Shirley Dejanette White.
Absolutely. Continuing to pray for Sister Tiffany, Sister Jacqueline's daughter, continuing to pray for Brother George Allen, continuing to pray for the health of all of those that are part of the empowerment family.
That we've
grateful.
That's been made us aware of what's going on with them. Absolutely. Some of them have health challenges that they told us about. And there's some of you guys may have health challenges that you didn't tell us about yet. And that's okay too. Wherever you need to be met, we pray for that.
Absolutely. Okay. We are prayerful for your personal, individual growth and development of your businesses. We are mindful that faith without works is dead, but that still the beginning of that line is faith. So you got to have the faith first, but always sandwich it together with works. Have some faith in the beginning, faith at the end, and put some work in the middle. Because, honey, without work, man don't work.
Man don't eat. First day of the second quarter of the year. First day of the second quarter of the year. This is significant. Set some targets for the next 3 months, please. Please, man, please, sir. Set some targets. Some kind of target. Financial, physical, mental, fitness, something. Relationship, community. Set some kind of target in one of these spokes, or all 6 of these spokes in the wheel of your life. The faith targets. Set some targets today. That's Absolutely. My encouragement of you.
Absolutely. I have been focused on changing my faith posture in a couple of different ways. I have been regurgitating, or maybe I'll say chewing the cud on a couple of things that God has revealed to me, and just finding out how to further reveal them. Even my cornerstone scripture, 2 Kings 4:1-7. I am chewing it again. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I got everything out of that already. Again. But there was another further. There's some more in there. And I'm grateful that God has added another book for me to just dig into. I'm digging into the book of Esther.
Again, that's beautiful. I saw a video yesterday that was significant. I can't stop thinking about it.
What?
It was the dash cam from a police car that pulled some guy over, a young white guy, and he had him in the front of his car, and he was about to handcuff him. And the man had his hands behind. He was complying, had his hands behind his back, and the police officer had just finished cuffing the man. And then the police officer started to choke. Couldn't get any air in his body, and he fell down. And the guy's looking around. He goes, "You okay, dude?" The guy couldn't hardly breathe. And he goes, "Oh my God, you're choking? And the police officer can't breathe. He goes, "Give me the keys, man, so I can help you. Give me the keys, I'll get out of this." And the police officer finally couldn't get any air. He needed help. He was on the ground, wriggling around. He reaches down. He was able to get the key off his belt and hand it to the man. And it was difficult for the man, even with the key, to uncuff himself. So he finally, and it took him some time, and this man is choking, and he's working real hard with the key to uncuff himself. So he finally gets it done. He gets himself uncuffed. So he goes there. He doesn't really know. He knows the guy's choking. Right. So I got to get you up, man. So it's with great difficulty get them to stand up. And he gets him to stand up. He brings him over to the car, and he's trying to get behind him and kind of like, Heimlich maneuver. But the police officer has all this equipment on. Right. So he's trying to choke, do that, and the guy's struggling. And several minutes have gone by. And the narrator's talking about he's now having difficulty to breathe for several minutes. He's trying, he didn't give up. The police officer fell over, he picked him back up again, he tries again. He goes, "Man, I'm gonna try again." And he like kind of picks him up and like lifts him off the ground. And then he gets him over to the car and he does it again, and stuff that was in his throat came out onto the hood of the car.
That lozenge, that police officer had bad breath. He was trying to take a lozenge.
It was bigger than a lozenge.
It went down the wrong
way.
It
looked like a big piece of white gum is what it looked like to me. But he got it out. And the guy got breath. And the police, and he says, "All right, man, good. I'm glad you're okay. Here's the cuffs, man. Go on, take me in." And the police officer, he takes the cuffs from him and lays them down in the car and just hugs the man.
Amen.
And let him go. But wow, what a story. Amen. All of this captured on the dash cam.
I'm grateful for that moment. I'm grateful that the man chose to lay down, in other words, to put aside his own freedom to help this other man save his life.
That guy could have died.
Absolutely.
He could have died right there.
Absolutely. Because you know what? Breath is priceless. You can't buy it. You can't create it. You can loan it with someone, and they don't even do that anymore. They don't even give you
mouth to mouth
anymore.
They recommend hands only. No mouth to mouth. Richard Pryor had a funny joke about that. You could be giving somebody mouth to mouth, and death easily your lungs.
That part. No. But I'm grateful that he lived to see another day. I'm grateful that you all live to see another day. I'm grateful to see you on tomorrow for Wisdom Wednesday, and we can't wait. Don't forget to join us tonight for Women Empowerment Network at theempowermentcenter.online, theempowermentcenter.online. You can find us on Eventbrite or join the men. If you're intending to join the men, please reach out to myself or Brian, and we'll send you the link to that tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you are in the the Concord, Charlotte, North Carolina regional area at 1 o'clock on Thursday, we welcome you to attend.
April 3rd, yes, ma'am.
For the think tank, we will have that link. I couldn't get the short link ready in time for the show, but we will have that ready for you tomorrow to start registering so that we can make sure that you are in the building. In the meantime and in between time, don't forget to have sex.